I barely got back into my normal life, and now I'm here, but it's great, it's, I love the show, and I loved the experience, and it's an honor to be an all-star, and to be able to have the experience to compete with people I've been watching since I was in my teens, it's a great experience, and I was all for it. I'm really stoked to be here. In China, the conditions were rough. We didn't have a food supply at our camp at all. We had little snails that we ate, and we had frogs. But here in Palau, there seems to be quite an abundance of food. I mean, the crabs, like we were catching little crabs like this. The crabs here are like this. So it's really refreshing to know that I've been through worse, and then coming here, I think it's going to be like, I think it's good to go through the hard part first, and then it gets easier. Like, this seems like it'll be easier to survive. Survivor changes you. I don't care who you are or where you come from or how much you don't think that the show will impact your life. You become so close to the people that you're on the show with, and you change as a person. Your values change, and you go home, not afraid of the things you were afraid of before. You're not afraid of life. You're more excited about it. You're not afraid to make big steps in your life or big career moves or things like that, because you've been through a period where you had to survive by yourself, like with a group of people that are strangers. I mean, it impacts your life in a good way. I actually think on the show I overprotected myself, and I think if anything, because a lot of people didn't know how to play the game in China. And I really think I did a lot of alliances that were like protecting myself, like backups. And I think I might have hurt a couple more feelings than I wanted to, because I was trying to protect myself so much. But yeah, I knew I had a good strategy. I'm a smart girl. I understand the game. I've watched every season. So I knew I would do well. I didn't know I'd do as well as I did. But I knew I'd do well. It's definitely going to be important that me and James stick together, because there's some things that I know about him that no one knows here, that he wouldn't want anyone to know. And the same with him. There's some things that he knows about the game that no one knows here. And I think the first thing I'm going to do in this game is definitely align with James, and I think he's really mad at me right now. But we're going to have to work through it to where I get him to make an alliance with me.